Let's
All right.
go.
So, welcome to the Tesla pod.
Thank you.
Adil Mania.
Yes.
I just got to know that your surname is literally Mania, right?
It's fun.
So you're one of the most, interesting founders that I've had in the podcast, right? So,
Thank you.
and this is an episode that I've been really looking forward for so long, Adil, right?
Appreciate it.
Your entire thesis, right, is actually around that tech media is boring,
Yes.
right? So, and what you're trying to kill is, right, I mean, what you're basically telling in your thesis as well, right? So the whole of all the podcasts that's been done here in Silicon Valley, it's literally founders talking to founders,
Yes.
right? And I mean, here we are, two founders,
exactly.
right?
Talking to each other.
in a self-driving car, right? Somewhat different, right? But have I already lost here, Adil?
No, I think it's cool. Like, I'm not like, how can I say it? I'm not like we should stop doing podcasts. I just think that the space is kind of saturated somehow, and there is still a lot we can do with what we have. Like, we have lots of inputs, lots of materials, lots of cool things we can talk about, and lots of people. And we keep bringing back the same kind of recipes to, like, I think podcast for me is even like that's number 2. I think number 1 for me is launch videos. Like, there's lots of launch videos every day.
Yeah.
Same ones again and again and again. And
90% cloud generated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just think that people are making generally cool stuff, but they don't market them in the way they should be done.
Right.
And I'm not talking about like small founders specifically. I'm talking about everyone, like even from anyone who's been doing like some B2B SaaS stuff to Waymos themselves. Like, they don't know how to make the experience feel magical, unique, even though it's already unique. Like, you are in the car. Look at us right now. We're in a car. It's driving itself. That's the future.
Yeah.
But it feels like, why? Security, safety, a lot of questions. And I think I think that we should push more for, how can I say it? We should tell what's happening in a better way. I think that's what is missing.
I mean, what caught my, eyes first was, right, your recap, right?
Yes.
Which you started off by doing a tech recap, right, of everything. I mean, because there's so much happening here in Silicon Valley, right? I mean, I don't think anyone humanly it's possible to keep up at all, right? But you condense into a greater degree, right?
Yes.
And then you came up with recap, right?
Yes.
I mean, first of all, that's how Silicon Mania caught my attention as well, right? Why don't you first of all give a 30 seconds version of what Silicon Mania is for ones who don't know?
Yes. So Silicon Mania is the most entertaining tech media ever. And the idea is just to talk about tech, what's happening inside, the culture in just a funny and entertaining way. And I think, for me, that was the goal from the start. We started with recaps. We've done the magazines, the night show, the buzzer. And each one of them was just like, okay, this is what is happening, but now you will consume the same things, but with just more spice. And it worked. People love that. You talked about the recaps, the magazines, people love them too much.
Yeah.
Like, all of that was like interesting to, again, just to show the same things, but just with a different angle. That's where I think we're good at.
Right. And your site literally says it's the most entertaining tech media ever. Period. Right?
Ever. No one has ever done something that's fun.
Yeah.
I think in the history of tech, and without being like too much ego. I think that's really real. Because I've seen and I've consumed a lot of tech media for a long time since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I haven't had those things where okay, this is real. I think the only thing that can really compete with what we were doing with the recaps and everything for me was Silicon Valley HBO show. Like, HBO aren't tech, aren't media, and TechCrunch are boring, Wired are boring, Bloomberg are boring, A16Z stuff are boring, like YC are boring, Founders Inc. and what they're doing, they're boring, even though I love those guys. I think when it comes to fun, and I think, maybe the second thing I've seen, which again wasn't the media itself, was the Tech Roast show. People told me a lot about that.
Right.
They go on stage, they start roasting founders. That's fun. That's entertaining. But again, that's not a media, just like a band with tour, which I think it's cool. I just think again, the space needs way more of something that is like completely different. And that speaks to much more people.
Right.
That's when
I mean, it's like, I mean, people like watching Shark Tank, but Shark Tank is not literally just tech as per se, right?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
do you think that's actually the missing piece? Because like something that I read that you've written about, right? So there's nothing, I mean, because now if you like, look at, I mean, my wife, I think she's somewhat anti-AI, right? So because you get these two categories of people, right?
I understand people.
Yeah.
I understand people. Like,
Yeah.
I understand their fears.
Yeah.
I understand why they are anti-AI.
Yeah.
And I think it's logic. Like, they aren't like being just dumb. I think some people are dumb for so many reasons, but I think like the majority aren't.
Yeah.
And when you compare, like, okay, this is again what they are getting from us and from the whole world as informations. Of course, you will be anti-AI. Like, I don't know if you are living in Arizona and people are telling you, hey, we are just gonna put those data centers to make our models be better so we can solve you the models, but like the data centers will require electricity that you will pay for it. You're like, wait. So these guys, they are bringing stuff to take value from me and sell it to somebody else and I'm not getting anything from it.
Yeah.
I would be against that. Like, I would be like, no, fuck AI. I don't want AI. And I think, again, that's the stories that we're telling people. We aren't telling people that this is part of the progress. And if we stop progress, we will never have what we have right now.
Yeah.
And it happened in the past. It has always happened. I think people should fight for like those rights and try to get as much advantage as they can from AI and from this progress. But I don't think progress should stop. We should win all from the progress. That's the challenge. It's like, okay, how we can make everyone in the world get something from it. Not just like 10 companies or like only employees from Anthropic will be rich and everyone else, fuck them. I think that's the wrong approach. The right approach is like, okay, how we can make everyone rich, win something from this. Jobs, or like, I don't know, like comfort, health. There is a lot of things we can explore. We shouldn't stop the progress. Progress should stay. That's what I hate. Like when I see those people like, going on the streets and claiming something and their whole thing is like, stop AI race. Like what the fuck, guys? No, like keep the race.
And
the race is good.
More you resist, it persists, right? That's the other side of the story.
No, even like, why? Like keep the race. The race is good. The problem is the distribution. Like they should fight of, okay, you want to race if you want, but share with us. Like, okay, you are Anthropic, make this amount of money, but share with people. Like, you should open I know they want to IPO, but like they should do, I don't know, like something should be done so those companies could make I would say American, but even like in general, everyone take something from it. And that's what we had. Like if we go back in history and we think about, let's say, Apple or Microsoft, yes, they made their employees so rich thanks to all the computers and everything. But at the same time, thanks to them, somebody in some country got a computer and started and had a job thanks to that. Or same with YouTube. Like YouTube started from here and it worked so well. And then right now you can see some random kid in Indonesia and he become a content creator. He's earning money and so it's cool. They are bringing to people jobs. And I think AI will do that way more in the next years. And that's what I hope that people will go and focus the fights for. It's not, hey guys, we should stop the progress, but it's more like, hey guys, can we share the wins? And I think everyone will be happy at the end.
And I think, I mean, one thing that I really like about what you do is, Adil, right? So, is that there is part of education as well, right? So then there's a set of people. Now we spoke about like there's, I mean, two buckets of people, right? Who are well progressive, right? Okay, now this is great, right? I mean, we need to support progress. We should not be killing progress, right? And we should fully be advocating. And the other side, they are completely shutting it off, right? And I think that's also coming also because they are not educated enough, right? They are completely shutting off, kind of what's happening in tech, right?
Yeah, but
and you're trying to bring that in a fun, way. Is that what your efforts are?
Yes, because for me, it comes from one reason. It's like, if you hear who are the loudest people in tech right now, Sam Altman, Dario, YC, little bit, even like YC, I think for me, it's the more insiders. Like if you go outside, I think those people are like the most interesting people that people listen to and people clip and they share on TikTok and everything. And when you hear those people, the majority of the speech is, hey guys, we just created an AI that will take your job. Goodbye. That's not our problem. And you're like, wait, these guys hate us, so we should hate them too. Like, why? And that's for me where, again, the problem is they will never say to people, hey, we made this AI and it will help someone do something. And I know the problem is even like worse, because if they go out, and I've seen this, they've done like some good, how can I say it? Little bits of marketing campaigns around like some, OpenAI has helped this health institute to get something out of AI, whatever. But those stories, they aren't shared enough because they aren't controversy enough. When Altman will go outside and some journalists will ask him, what do you think of the future of the jobs? And he will be like, oh, I think AI will cause lots of damage. And which I think he's right. But I think that's not the right way to say it. Like, you cannot say to people, hey, we are taking your jobs. No. Like, you should say to people, hey, we are making progress. Like, we are going to this new future that will be completely different and that will open new opportunities. There is new opportunities. It's impossible. I know some people believe in this. I don't believe in the future where like everything will collapse. I think it's impossible. Even if like we have this AGI and it can do everything, whatever, I think humans will fight for their rights and to get whatever they need. And you cannot just let this smart thing just takes everything and you sit down and watch it. I think that's too much. And I feel like that's impossible because people will keep resisting, which is good. So to come back to the narrative for me, it's like, so, okay, how you can win those people over? I think it comes from showing them that what they're missing out. And for me, it's the tech itself is what's happening. It's the magic that is bringing. And I think that's what we would love to fight for. It's like, okay, we just want to show people, hey guys, this is cool. Like, use it, like play with it, do something with it. Because I think there is some, as I said, like, I think the future is bright. And I think there is a lot of opportunities and we should be the ones saying to them, hey guys, enjoy. And that's for me the main challenge.
And you said, I mean, you're 100% right. So then, like, you said that, I mean, food, it has its own shows, right? Yes. Gordon Ramsay's, right? Fashion has its own shows, right? Sports has shows, right? Music has shows, right? A lot, right? Even politics, right? Has shows, right? But tech, if you really think about it, that's what really moves the world, right? And like, we are here at the heart of Silicon Valley, right? So that, and really like, most of the tech is really being built here, right? So, and there's nothing that's worth watching on a Saturday night, right? That you can like, say watch it with your family. I love watching like, let's say Bloomberg or like, YC. I mean, because those are the stuff that's available for us right now, right? But then that's not something you can watch with family for fun on a Saturday night, right? Is that the problem that you're really trying to solve here?
I think that was something I believed in the beginning when we started. It's like, okay, we should give to people like some way or some media to consume. I think the problem is like right now, I just believe it's so fucked up online that even if you push like this kind of, okay, we're making these shows and they will please the people, I think people, how can I say it? I don't believe today that if you just drop cool content around tech, you will change people's minds. I think people are really furious that we need to get closer to them in a different way.
Right.
And that's, I think, what's missing right now. I think that's what we'll try to fight for what's next. I'm giving you like some hints for what's coming next.
Right.
Because like I told you before we start that I won't say to you exactly what's coming next. But I will keep dropping these hints. But yeah, I think like we need to be closer to people in a way that feels unique, magical, special. And this is something I just think like a show won't be enough. I believe in that for a moment. I was like, okay, if we can let's do like some kind
of... It's just one part of it. Is that the case?
Yeah, but like, how can I say it? I think if let's say we'll drop, I know people ask for that a lot. I mean, for insiders, it's interesting. Is Silicon Mania should do like some new Silicon Valley show. Imagine we do that. Okay, for people inside the bubble, they'll be so happy. They'll be like, oh, okay, we have this new show, like the cartoons we've done, but like imagine longer, like 25, 30 minutes. But will we change anything in the world? I'm not sure. I think we, like, as you said, like Saturday night with your family, you bring the recap in front of them. Imagine the recap, it's like 25 minutes. Will they watch it? No. They're like, I don't care that much about this. But for people here, they will watch it every week because it speaks to them too much. I think for me, the problem is like, and that's what we're trying to solve from the beginning is to go to people outside of here and be like, hey guys, don't miss on this, please. Because for me, tech brought me a lot of things in my life. I'm so grateful for all what we've had and everyone who was here and built something from Silicon Valley to the world and even outside of here. Like internet started in Switzerland. So I think like there's a lot of cool things we've had from the whole world and we need to keep showing people, hey guys, this is cool. And it's funny because like people, they hate AI, and they hate tech in a way, but at the same time, they will tweet about it using tech phones and tech social media, and then they will go and check their cars, which has
and they will write it with ChatGPT, literally, right?
And then they're like, yeah, wait, hey ChatGPT, can you please help me write this? And they're asking that AI is bad.
Yeah.
Like what? And I think for me, again, I understand why people are furious. I just think we can touch them differently, and that's I think our mission. And I hope that we can succeed in that. If we do it, I'll be happy. Because we'll just bring more progress to the world. Like, what makes us special as humans was always progress. Like, lots of species, they stop at moments. Like, they are like that. And then, like, the progress is so slow that nothing happens over, like, millions of years. For humans, we went from fire to AI in a matter of years. That's really crazy. People, like, don't even realize how much we are so smart as a species just to go that fast. I know we have this dream, especially here, of this AGI that should be even like more smarter than us. I think we're smart enough to figure out everything. And that's what makes us cool and unique and survive. And I think we shouldn't stop that. We cannot fight progress. Like that's the worst thing ever to do. Just keep making progress, keep on the doors. But again, fight for distribution, fair distribution. Like, okay, everyone should win of this. And I think that's a fair thing to ask for.
Yeah.
Like that's not really bad.
Especially like, since you were talking about distribution, Adil, right? So, because that's the main thing right now, right? Because, one thing that I read recently, right? MVP is dead, right? Now it's about, MVD. What is the minimal visible distribution that you can actually get right now? Because anyone can build a MVP within within a day's time now, right? Yeah. So, that distribution is the absolute key, right? And, how are you, is that what you're really advocating to, right? So helping others, helping ones who are building cool things in tech to find that distribution. Is that one of your, main goals, to help, founders in some sense?
Yeah. Good question. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I think we helped some people thanks to what we've done.
Right.
Like, I don't know, for example, the buzzer, some founders were there. They got like some kind of fame thanks to it. And that's cool. Like, I'm happy for them. How can I say it? We don't push that much. Like, we haven't been focused on that as like a priority.
I see. Right.
Like, between all what we have, we just believe like if we believe that if you make cool things, people will talk about you. And we haven't like took those opportunities where we were like, okay, let's just, again, as I said, like that's a problem that we have never been, considering as a priority. Like we avoided it for a long time.
I see. Right. So basically, this is how I see this, right? I know that you have a lot of things going on, right? This is like sort of MrBeast meets Silicon Valley, NBC meets the most, ambitious founders, in the world, right? So, which part of MrBeast is which part is NBC in your opinion?
Good question. I think MrBeast is what we started. It's funny because like when I wrote that manifesto, which was in February, it was just before we do the tech original games. And I was like, okay, like this city needs more challenges. And we've done that. We've done an event that looks exactly like what she was doing. And that was so fun. And that was like one way to do it, which is like, okay, you bring the founders, you give them some challenges. People love watching challenges online.
Yeah.
So we've done that. And then for the NBC parts, I think for me, it was like more like the buzzer. Yeah. Like those kind of productions where like people, they watch them because they're just high quality, well produced and fun and entertaining. And you can watch them like on Saturday night if you want. I think that's the value we're trying to bring with those kind of productions. But what's shared about them is like at the end, those two, publishers, I would say, they drop shows. I think the space is missing shows. We don't have enough. And especially shows that we speak to the outside. I think that's the main thing that I feel like it's still missing right now. So we haven't seen a lot. Like even Mafia from Founders Fund wasn't really outside. That was still insider media. So yeah, I think like there is still a lot to do on that space.
Right. And you wrote, and I'm quoting here, right? If there's one thing I know for sure, right? No one in SF understands media more than me.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So that's a huge line to put it in
100%.
writing. How would you defend this?
I've been in this space for a long time. For me, just it's not the time; it's the curiosity. And I think even the time when I started resisting and be like, no, but I don't really care that much. Let's just do something else. I went into consumer social for a long time. That was fun, and then I kept coming back to this thing, and like I don't know, like I know people don't care that much, but I'm the kind of people who spend, I don't know, like a night, for example, just analyzing LinkedIn comments, understanding what's the patterns, why people comment at the end. And now I know exactly, like there is 5 different reasons why people comment on LinkedIn. It's always the same. Like you cannot go out of those 5 reasons. Same for Instagram stories. There's always 5, 6 reasons why you will like drop a story. It will come back to the same, like those specific topics. So it's easy like to understand those algorithms in a way. Same for Twitter. And I mean, when I want to go viral on some platform, I went viral. We've done it on, I did it before, like on TikTok. That's why people today are like, oh, why are you not on TikTok? I'm like, I've won the game before. Like, I don't care. Instagram, same. Twitter was like the last one I was struggling for. I haven't really went big on YouTube yet. YouTube, the problem is like with YouTube is like, it requires a lot of fucking consistency and I hate that. It's like, okay, YouTube is like this
and X doesn't require that?
I think X is different. X is like, yes, you need to be consistent 100%, but it's just different. Like it's, YouTube is like, you need to be consistent with with high quality content. And that's just too much for me. Like, okay, I can like I can like show up every day to drop something, but show up every day to drop high quality stuff every day. The problem is like for me, it's like I always increase the bar. So so I will never be satisfied with what I have, which means automatically that with YouTube requirements, it's like, okay, you just need to do the same show every week, for example, or like, at the moment I'm like, okay, I need to improve the show and improve, and improving requires a lot of energy. So I put more energy into improving, less into just keeping the same things, which makes it just more challenging at the end. And that's why I think YouTube I haven't got that moment yet, but the rest, it was like LinkedIn before, like everything. Like when I want to do something in media, I just do it and it works. I think that's the magic about it.
Right. And you have actually shipped 5 different formats, right? In 8 months, right? That is the
6 months.
In 6 months, yes. Right? Okay. Right. The recap, the magazine, the night show, the tech original games, the buzzer, right? So that's a lot of swings, right? Within 6 months time,
and
right?
You can add locked in and no, yes, no.
Right. which I couldn't mention, right? Is this part of a deliberate strategy or are you just throwing things at wall right now to see what picks?
No. So, it's half. So I love going for, like, I don't just have an idea this morning and then I drop it. I take a little bit more time of, okay, what should I do exactly? But that was like, how can I say it? I just love following my intuition and being like, okay, this is exactly the things where I'm like, I should go for them. And the recaps was like, they started after like 2 different trials of something else that didn't really take off that much. And then I had that hit on September, it worked. And then I was like, okay, let's keep it monthly and then weekly. The magazine, it started because the recap was weekly and I was missing something for the month. And I was like, okay, I can't just do 4 videos a week and then another video at the end of the month. It's just too much. I need something different. And then I was like, wait, magazines, maybe there's a space for it. And then you go and you see what works, what doesn't. What else? The night show was something that I really believed in from the beginning. And I still believe there is some space for it. I just don't know exactly if it's worth it or not right now. And the buzzer, I had 2 options. Either the first option was to go for the 20 invest one, the 20 investors, 1 founder, or 20 founders, 1 investor. I think that for me, the problem with that show is that when I watched it, the Sideman version of it,
that was an idea or
an idea. That was like the first version of the buzzer. It was supposed to be like 20 founders, 1 investor.
Right.
And the problem for that is like when I watched the the Sidemen version, where it's like the original one, where it's like 20 girls, one guy. And the problem is like when you see those productions, it's all about the guy. The more he is funny and entertaining, the more you will watch 2 hours. The more he is boring, the more you are dead. And I was like, I cannot put, let's say, 25 minutes, 40 minutes of production where I bring like a lot of people who put lots of money, and then it's boring just because like the main character isn't interesting enough or entertaining enough, I would say. And that's for me where I was like, okay, what we can do that is different. So I kept thinking, and then we ended up with this idea of the buzzer, where it's like, it's the button from Cuts, where you have like 1-1. So even if the investor isn't like giving much spice and entertainment, you can just buzz him, and then you have another one. So you have like those kind of two different players, and it gives you like a lot more, how can I say it, entertainment during the format. I think that's what we care a lot about when we produce something, especially for us. So, and I think, yeah, that was a hit. But also we've done something that didn't take off that much. Like, for example, we've done the drone interviews. I've had interviews with founders that was filmed like with the drone that was following us from in front and from tops, which is like weird. No one is doing that. And it was fun. But for me, it was not us. Like something was missing. Like we've done 2, I think. The first one was with, Alan from Nosomio, and the second one was with Charles from, Strawberry Browser. And the videos were fun. I think it was interesting. But I don't know, like, something wasn't there. And for me, it was just like, that's not us. That's all. Like, and yeah, just bad feeling. And I was like, okay, we should just stop them. Same like with Locked In. We were like, okay, let's just create this new page and let's cover news the same way, Fabrizio
that
Romano
worked
is doing.
Or that didn't work?
Didn't work.
Right.
Like we tried it for 3 weeks, I think. Nothing big that much out of it. So I was like, maybe this is not like the thing that and you feel it. I think when you start experimenting with some stuff, you feel it. So we only kept what really, really, really worked. We were lucky because like, I think we had like 4 or 5 good hits. That's what I'm saying. Like if I experiment all the ideas I have in my mind, I think I will be, every day I will wake up and be like, hey guys, I have an idea. And you will see like new production every day. I'm not doing that. So I'm trying like to filter a little bit before like I drop stuff. And yeah, I think that's the balance I'm trying to find. It's like, okay, we should stay experimental and still try some stuff because like you never know what will happen exactly. But I think at the same time, we should think 5 minutes before like we spend time on and budget on production, because sometimes you will just drop that money for nothing. I think that's not worth it.
So you spoke about a lot of formats, right? And then you spoke about some that worked, some that didn't work, right? Which one is working the best right now? Is it the recap?
The recap was the best, yes.
Right.
That was 100% the best. I mean, so that's the thing. The question is, what do you mean by working? If we talk numbers, recap. Hype, recap. I think what touched people the most, and people still remember it even today, was the magazine.
I see.
People like love those magazines so much, and they had it, they touched it, they felt it, and that was like so unique that everyone asked for it. It was hype. And
are you selling it? Or?
No. So we've had sponsors. So grateful for every sponsor we had. We had lots on that magazine. That was cool. And for me, like it was something that people loved way more, I feel. Like, yeah, people like, they were like, oh, so the recaps, that's cool. But like when they were talking about the magazines, like, do you have one? Like, I want one. And they were way more excited about it. And I think for me, that's what means working.
Right.
It's like, okay, just get people so excited about something. And I think for me, I still like the magazine was the biggest hit I think we've had.
Right. I see. And so recap right now, it's at 17 episodes, right?
I think it was 17, yes.
17, and then that is by far the most consistent format, right?
Yeah, we've done, yes.
What did you learn, right, between, say, episode 1 and 17?
Oh, good question. I think my biggest learning of the recap, which is funny because so many people on Twitter was just like saying shit about the recaps, but it's okay. I remember like these 2-3 people, and they were, every time I dropped the recap, they were retweeting it, and they were like, yeah, Silicon Valley people have no taste. How people can even laugh on this and everything. And the funny thing is that our most successful recap ever was the one I think is still pinned right now on the channel. and it's like 1.2 million views. And
Right.
that recap was one where I put lots of energy to make it really fun. It was the only one, I think, from the beginning where it has not just people showing up, but it had like those three or four scenes, and each scene was really, really funny. Like generally, how can I say it? Written in a way that feels like comedy. And people loved that. They were
Right.
like, and that's something that's made me understand that people, yes, they love when they are featured on something. And I know people like, again, they were saying bad shit about the recap because they're like, oh, this is just like he takes people and put them and that's all. And the magic for me was the day I went further and I was like, okay, now let's give you real comedy. People like that was like the biggest one ever. And I think for me, that's the biggest learning is like people in SF, even though there is still lots of work, people still have taste. People like still judge well on socials, which is good. Which
Right.
gives you hope.
Right. Then coming back to your print, right? So the print magazine, which I have with your signature as well, right? So I absolutely loved it, right? So these are two issues right now, right? So everyone else, like right now they are on digital only, right? And I don't think there's any magazine, right? Tech magazine that's there, right? That is a printed version as per se, right?
There is like work in progress, I think, from Stripe Press, but it's not the same.
Yes.
I received recently Culture Slop.
Yeah.
It's cool. Still like, the problem is like people who do magazines usually, they are still playing with all the rules. It's like you bring people, you do interviews, you drop those interviews in a magazine, and you feel like 64 pages.
Stripe Press is like very serious, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want to do something different. I feel like they feel like, okay, this is like me somehow. I think that's where it was interesting. I think if I only cared about the business itself and nothing else, I think we could have just kept the magazines for like a long time. We could have made amazing money out of it. But I don't know, I just think like for me, how can I say it? What we are trying to do is like way more than all of that. So that's where I'm like, okay, maybe we should go for more. And yeah, for me, like that's the main challenge and that's why like we stopped those magazines.
Right. Is it completely killed or like, is at a pause right now?
We will see.
Right.
As I said, like I can't say anything about the future. Stay tuned.
Right.
But if I can say one thing, people will love what's coming next.
Right.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's like, I remember when I stopped the recaps, everyone was like, why did you stop the recaps and everything? Like, and
is it on a pause right now?
We'll see. I mean, some people online, I remember on X, there's always somebody else who will be like, oh, this is your dumbest decision ever. I love when people say that because usually it means like you are contrarian enough that you are taking a real bet. And right now we're taking new bets that may end up being the best one we've done since the beginning.
Which you can't really speak about right now, right?
Nah.
Right. And the night show, it is live events, right? So it's a completely different format, right? So what is it like, that in-person show that really gives that you cannot like, do it from something like recap?
I mean, in person is special because like you bring people, they feel something in front of them, and I think there's some magic inside it. And for me, the night show, like I always believed in that. I mean, we've been lucky because we've had two. The first one, I mean, the main thesis of the night show for people who never heard about it was to do exactly what Jimmy Fallon is doing with Hollywood celebrities, but we do it with tech. So like the same vibes, which means like it's not a podcast. It's a show. So there's like, games. There is lots of, specific productions that you add on top of the show. And that's something that makes it like unique. And for example, I remember like when, this is something that you only see in shows, not podcasts, is like the host usually brings something and the guest should react on it. Like, for example, I don't know, Jimmy Fallon can show some parts of some series on Netflix and then ask the actor, what do you think of this? And like, how was it? And that's the kind of things that, again, you don't find in podcasts usually. Podcast is just conversation.
Yeah.
So, and we've done that. Like, and we were lucky because like, so when I had that idea, I was like, okay, let's go for it. I've asked every single Silicon Valley celebrity, everyone. Like, no one has the right to say I didn't ping them. I pinged every famous person in SF, everyone. And it was only no's. Only one guy replied. And that guy was Sebastian Tran, the founder of Waymo. And he was so humble in a way. I can't even understand. Like, he said yes to something that he didn't even know what was it, or why, or who is this guy, why I'm doing it. And I was like, okay, why not? I would love to do it with you. So, and then he joined us. And we've done it in Founders Inc. That was really crazy. Like, we've had, I think, 45 people in front of us, and we tried to record. We had some big issues with the production, and then we ended up just doing it there. It was so fun because, like, we've had, for example, moments um, where we went on the streets to record a street interview with people in SF, asking them about the Waymos. And then we showed that to Sebastian. We're like, what do you think of what people? And people were divided. Some people were like, this is cool. Some people were like, this is bad. Or same, for example, we went too far. And this is something we've done, like, just to show you, like, the level of crafts we've dropped into the night show. And that I still believe, like, maybe there's something around them is, like, for example, we went and asked his son to send us a video. And then we showed him the video, and the video was so emotional that he started crying on stage. I was like, that's cool. Sorry again, Sebastian. So I feel like, I think that's something that's so special. And also there was lots of games. We had a light detector, like, lots of crazy stuff happened that night. And then we're like, okay, we should do another one, because I was just furious about the first one because of the production. So we've done the second one. Same. I went for the guests. No one wanted to join. Just to make it clear, I've been trying for 2 months to bring someone on stage. Everyone was like, I'm busy, I have something. Their communication officers, they are like, I don't know if it's worth it, whatever. It's okay. I don't come from some Peter Thiel background, whatever, so it's okay, I understand. So we've done the second one. I was like, okay, what we can do if we don't have any celebrity? We've tried until the last minute. People don't understand that even 10 minutes before the show, I was still pinging people and be like, if you can join right now, I'm bringing you on stage right now. And we couldn't bring anyone from Silicon Valley. So, which again, I understand. So what happened after is, we ended up doing a talent show. So, and I think people will see, like, the videos we are dropping on the next weeks. Maybe by the time this podcast will be out, we'll be already, like, dropped those videos. And the idea was, so we had, like, comedy, we've had music. I took people, like, in this experience where they went from the recaps to the fundraise. That was, like, the whole trajectory. Like, I took them back to January until June. And the idea was like, okay, this is Silicon Mania from the beginning to now. And that was, like, the main story. Plus, like, all those moments of we cut with something else. We've had, like, I think you were there or not? No.
No, I was not there. I wanted to make it, but I couldn't make it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, so basically, we've done something that was so fun. People love that. We brought 67 books on stage.
Right.
67. That was a lot to prepare. And then the idea is, every time we have a game, or, like, there is something, we bring someone from the audience on stage and he chooses a number. And then you open the box and surprise, someone ended up with a Mac Mini. Congrats for him.
Right.
Someone ended up with balloons, whatever. Like, the prizes were completely random. And that was fun because, like, you give people that something that, again, they cannot have it online because, like, it's complicated. And you cannot just offer, even if you offer people, it's not the same feeling. That's okay. You were on stage, you took the prize, you opened it. Wow, that was magical. And then they feel something. I think that was the main goal of the show. And it worked. Like, same, we brought dancers on stage. That was so fun, like, to do it. Not many people do that here. So I think, yeah, for me, that's kind of the, how can I say it? Bringing the Vegas vibes to SF. And I think that's where it was interesting.
Right. So you have Rippling, Lemon Labs,
Yes.
Postog,
Yes.
Convex, Composio, Prodia,
way more.
right? And
way more,
right? So all of them as sponsors right now, and all of these, like, all within 6 months' time, right? How did you land the first one? What's the story behind that?
Good question. The first one, if I'm not wrong, was, I think it was Super Memory with Driver. You brought him on the podcast or not?
Sorry?
You brought him on the podcast? Driver.
No, not really.
You should. You should. He's the GOAT.
Right.
I think, I generally think he was the first one. Either him or CompI.
Right.
So how did I do it? Good question. I remember it was for the tech original games. So we were doing this event / production at the same time. And the idea was like, okay, I was pitching this idea for, okay, we're making this kind of MrBeast vibes where we do this kind of, again, like, production. And then we, how can I say it? We will make, we'll, like, bring founders. Then we have this entertaining day. At the same time, we'll make like some videos on it and drop it online. And we start like I went to every community manager, communication manager, head of communication, head of marketing in every major company in SF. And I pinged all of them. I still have the list on my app notes, the whole list. And I think like, I know some people might ask me for it. I think it's not updated anymore. So it's not, because people like they move so much from a company to another here. So it's not like worth it. And I was like pinging each one of them. And I was like, hey, you are doing this. Would you love to join? I got lots of no's. Like, I think out of 60 people I asked, I had like 3 yeses or 4 yeses, but that's enough. That's all what I needed. And then we've done the first one, and then we kept going and going and going until we landed like Ripley, for example, which was one of our last sponsors.
Right.
VCX, same last sponsors, Macroscope, and like all of them, they came like later. I think it's easy when you are hype. It's hard when you are not hype. And also, I think something that people miss about sponsors usually is like, I think the question is like, why should they sponsor at the end? Like, what makes, I won't say makes you special, but like, who are you talking to? Is what you're doing valuable? And sometimes even I would say the easiest thing is just to copy. Like, if, for example, I don't know, like random thing is like, TVPN got sponsors because they had like live shows doing them every day. ETN has done the same, which worked. I know some guys that are doing like some live shows, same, it works. So those kind of formats that prove that they can be sponsored. You can, even like TVPN, they took like inspiration from Formula One sponsoring and everything. And that's stuff that works. Like, I think there is generally like space for, I don't know, like if someone, for example, wants to make some tech hoodies that are sponsored, I think people will pay for that. Lots of money, because like they proved that how can I say, the fashion industry, it's open to sponsors, and it starts for me from like soccer, and even soccer, like recently, they went from, I think that's something that I found so interesting, is like for a long time, wearing soccer jerseys was only like for the games. Right now, if you see every drop they do, every club in Europe, they are trying to make those jerseys become part of the culture. And some of them are really like well made, where it feels like, and you see the photo shots, like they take those people and they put them like in near the water or something. They're like, oh, okay, do be like this or be like this. Just like, to make it feel like streetwear somewhere. And because they know if it becomes streetwear, people can buy like 10, 12, 13, and not just one jersey to go to play with this. Now it becomes like part of, okay, I can just wear it even if I'm outside. And the sponsors, they have a lot to win if you can be, as a human being, wearing OpenAI and being outside. That's worth it. Like for the case of, if we stay like just in soccer, you wear, I don't know, like Unibet or like any brand you want, like Louis Vuitton, whatever, they have a lot to win if you take their brand to the outside. And I think that's where that model proved itself. So if somebody brings that, I think there is money in it. It's like, it just worked.
I mean, when you think about it, are you like, say, media, it's a famously brutal business, right? So, and there's very few who's able to raise money for media as well, right? Because I mean, one success story that I know from around here is like Silicon Valley girl, right?
Yeah.
So she, I mean, her story was like quite inspiring as well, right? But like, you know, raising money for media, it's very tough, right?
Yes.
And I mean, you raised 325k pre-seed. Congratulations, right?
Thank you. 350.
So, 350k, right?
Update.
Oh, right. Right. I didn't know that, right? Congrats. So, what did you really tell the investors that made them believe in this vision?
I think you should ask them. I still don't know why.
What did you sell?
I think I just said a bunch of random stuff. I mean, how can I say it? It's interesting because when you see it's funny because when you see the people that really invested in us are people with long-term visions. And I think like if we talk about if we talk about offline ventures with Dave and his wife, and if we talk about Founders Inc., those funds, they're completely different than the rest. Like, Founders Inc., they go for something that feels, okay, it will work and it will improve like the world. And they go like for those theses of, okay, we want technology like to be something interesting for the world. And same for Dave and offline ventures. Like they believe a lot in offline and the magic of technology and everything. And we're so aligned on that more than, and I think that's what worked for them. And they saw also like the progress and the traction is important. It's like, okay, if I go today or like if I went for the same people, even like before, without like going for it, like, it just took some time because like I won't say they need some proof, but like they just need some traction. And I think showing up every day, every week until from like January to May and pushing that thesis of, okay, we are doing this, and they saw like the hype and how much it worked and how much like something happened. That's helped a lot after those months of work to show people that, okay, this is working. And then we had some other people. And I think like our founder is not like big enough. I think we need more, way more than what we had. But I think it's enough for us like right now to go for what we would love to go for. It's funny because like my belief is, I think every fund that missed on us in the beginning because they just classified us as media company and that's all. I understand them because media company don't make money. Okay, I understand all of that. Thank you. I think we will go for something bigger. And the moment we will do that and we succeed, they'll be like, why he didn't tell us that? I think your job as an investor is to find those signals. Even if the founder is saying like, okay, this is what I see right now. You should, as an investor, see that founder and the potential that he can have. You shouldn't, and I'm saying this because like I received, somebody sent me some text from another investor who I didn't speak to, but like, this investor said something like, I know Adil. I think he's like smart enough. I just wish if he was doing something else than media. And I would invest in him. And I'm like, I mean, you should invest in the founder. Like, give him enough resources so he can like go for things. And because the moment it clicks, that's what matters. Yeah. And as I said, like, I think we started as a media company because it was relevant. And I believe in that thesis for a long time. I just think right now, my belief is like we should go for something different. And I mean, they missed on it and they had the opportunity. I still have the list of all the funds I pinged and we had meetings with them and they said, no, it's okay. I think they will have some money because they will invest in some other B2B SaaS. But I think they may miss on what we are creating. And I would just feel bad for them later because like they had the opportunity when we were still really, really small. And before we do this switch, and again, we're still early. I think we're still day one on what we will be doing in the future. I'm so excited to see what this thing we are making, how it will look like in like 10 years, for example, 15 years, if I'm still alive. I think if it's still the case, it will be interestingly crazy. And I think by that moment, yeah, like, I don't know, like, again, I don't know what will happen. Like, if it works, they'll be like, okay, like, it's funny because like, if it works, they'll be like, oh, we should have, why we missed on this. And I know, like, they will end up doing those people who dropped those screenshots when Cursor was acquired. And they were like, I missed the opportunity. Bro, you had the opportunity. You should have taken it. Like, stop being on X and be like, oh, I should have done it. Like, yeah, thank you. Congrats. And I think that's what may happen in the future. Again, if it's not the case and we lose, it's okay. At least I will go, for what I'm believing in. And I believed in media for a long time. I still believe in media. I just think right now we should maybe do something that is more ambitious. Right. And I think it's possible.
And what is I mean, I understand, like, so from say an investor standpoint, what is exactly the business model here? Because like the main concern, right? And I think like, that's what a lot of the investors are having in their mind as well. Because like, say, I mean, sponsorships is the main, like, source of revenue, right?
100%.
So, like say, because just based on sponsorships, right, it's tough to build and a media empire, right? Yes. So is this like, would this just be running on sponsorship or is this actually on ramp to something much, much bigger?
I think we should go for something bigger. Right. And I think that's what's happening next. And because like sponsorship are interesting. I mean, we're saying that, but at the same time, if you took the TVPL model, they just had sponsors and that's all, nothing else for a long time. And then they were acquired at moments. So which works, even with sponsors. I mean, again, it's special. It's not really it's not something that is so frequent, but it happened also like with Starter Story. Starter Story was like only sponsorship media company and then they got acquired. So it's possible. I just think like for me, the problem is like the industry is still, how can I say it? It's not that, educated enough on the media industry. They don't understand anything about it. And which is okay. Or like they have some data from ChatGPT where it says like, yeah, media don't make money. There isn't like many acquisitions. The space is crowded. Why even media will need money? And I think just there is something different. And my belief is like, I think AI is coming for every industry and it's also coming from the AI for the media industry, 100%. So I think for us being on the edge will makes us always valuable more than anyone else. Just because like we try stuff, we experiment with stuff, we will do things that will make lots more hype and energy. And I've seen it like, how can I say it? Like there was those people who tried to make those, and I've seen it, like even some companies that were even like, how can I say it? Funded by A16Z or whatever. And their thesis was, okay, let's make, AI cartoons. Everyone's trying to do that. Everyone was trying to do that for a long time. And the idea was like, oh, we can just make people be part of the cartoons, but who cares? And what happens like those tools, they go into the product and like, they start making the products and like, and then they struggle to get the users because this is media space. The media space is completely different. It's better to start with the production than to start with the tool to make the production. Because like the tools, yes, there's a market for them. Yes, you can make money off them. Yes, you can get acquired. But I still believe that you cannot get hype around what you are doing if you don't show people that it works. And again, I've seen those companies, they struggle and they're still struggling because like they're like, oh, this is maybe there's a space for something. But at the same time, I don't know. I think it's just so challenging and we'll see. It's still early.
Right. So Founders Inc. is an investor in you, right?
Yes.
And then that's where we met as well, right? So I came through the Artifact batch, right? So nice. What did that room do for Silicon Mania? Because I know that they are quite like, driving their own content as well in some degree, right? So what did what was the main, contribution or direction that they gave?
I think giving us a roof with many more people. And I think the worst thing that can happen to you as founder is like being lonely and in a space. I think Founders Inc. gives you that feeling of being surrounded by a family. And that's so interesting. That's something I really like with the cohorts and everything. And I think Canopy cohort was cool. I met a lot of amazing people doing hardware, doing software, doing media. Even some like were doing like some cool stuff. Like, I don't know, I think there's Jason, he was like doing some magic with tech, whatever. That was like so fun.
Right.
Godan, Alex, they were doing like, sleep tracker. Zach and Ibrahim were working on some cybersecurity stuff. Like all those, like Omar was doing, vlogging, social networks. Just being surrounded by those people, even though they aren't doing the same things as you, but they are also in this journey of trying to make something. I think that's, feeling of being surrounded by other people, that's what matters more than anything else. Just being part of something, I think it matters a lot.
I mean, I'm 100% with you on that, right? So we got so much done within that short period of time, 100%. Right? Than any other time, right? So that energy is absolutely, something else. So amazing. Like, real kudos to Founders Inc. for that, right? So, right. So then coming to your story, Adil, right? So I mean, one of the stories that I read up on, right? So before you build Silicon Mania, right? Something that you built was Anomaly Space, right? Yes. So which is a hacker space in Paris, right? Yes. I mean, quite an interesting story on its own, right? Which 500 participants, they've come all across from Europe, right? Yes. And then 100 people, you've created this cohort of 100 people, right? And, most of these alumni has actually gone to race and get into IC as well, right? But I mean, one thing that I saw was that, you've written down on the fact that you shut it down because no investor in Europe wanted to take the lead. Yes. Even though you've created something really valuable there, right? What's this story and what actually happened?
Yeah, so Anomaly started from the feeling that I had in, I mean, it's like continuity of what's happened before. So basically, my second big company was before Anomaly, was called Startup Vocal. And it was like media company in France talking about startups. And even before it was like more for young founders, but then we switched like really to startups. And we had lots of productions, like we're doing like podcasts on Twitch. We're doing interviews on TikTok. It was like interesting to play with. And we had lots of sponsors, even some government sponsors. I was so surprised by the quality of the sponsors we had, great partnerships. And then, I stopped. I stopped for one reason, because I couldn't find my community. Like I was caring lots about, like my problem is like I'm a technical person. So I would always care about the technical side of things, like the magic of the product, like the beauty of the product and how much it's cool and useful and magical. And in tech, there is also some people who don't have that technical background. They don't build themselves. They're just CEOs because like it's cool. Being founder is really like a luxury status today. So people love that. People want to go for that. And I was surrounded by those. And I was like, wait, am I like a founder? Like, or entrepreneur or like a tech founder? Right? Like, who am I at the end? And again, like I wasn't aligned with those people. Like, 'cause people, how can I say it? People, they judge you by some stuff. And I was being judged by the number of followers, by the number of, like the sponsors, whatever. I was like, yeah, I don't give a shit about this. Like, I just want to make great stuff. That's all. And I care about, like, I don't know, like when the Vision Pro was out, I was so happy that day. Cause like, that was magical. And again, I couldn't find that community in France. So I was like, okay, maybe something is missing in France. And then it took me some time until I came across Build Space with Farza. And I was so happy during S5. I was online. That was like one of the best experiences I've had in my life. And I was like, wait, this is my community. Like, I love this energy of like, okay, just build something every week, like Founders Inc. And I was like, oh, why this is missing in Europe? Why no one in Europe had this kind of vibes and energy? Someone should bring this to Europe. And I've seen what was happening. Nothing was that culture. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And so we started and we had, I remember like I had two things about Anomaly that was so fun in the beginning. The first one was I had a list of 10 people that was like, okay, if I start this space, I would bring those 10 people with me and we'll be so happy. And that's all. I don't care about the rest of the world. And the second is the first version of such a thing, because people speak about MVPs, but like sometimes the MVPs are like so crazy. It was basically the, it was one night. I brought two friends that I know. They share the same energy. And I was like, what will happen? I mean, I knew them from different contexts and they don't know each other. I was like, okay, what will happen if I bring them together into under one roof? What can happen? And what happened after that night is like they went so close after they started working together. And I was like, wait, if I can just create a space, and that space in the beginning was just like my apartment, and bring two people, they become friends, they talk to each other because like they just share the same passion. What will happen if that space is not my apartment, is like a real office, like when people can meet? And that was the thesis. It worked at one night, and that gave me like the feeling that, okay, I can do more. And then I started like speaking to people from all around Europe, from Denmark to Sweden to Lithuania to Romania to like Germany, France, Spain. And the more we like, I spoke to you, the more I was like, oh, maybe there's a need, maybe there's need. And then we started like talking about it, and we ended up with over 500 applicants by the end. We had a lot of people. I think what was special about it, and that's maybe what I regret the most, is like we tried to bring the American energy to Europe, where it was like, okay, let's just make things, make big things and just make things. And we don't care. But we didn't have money to make it survive for a long time. And at the moment we needed support from some people, I was left with two options max of investors. And both of them said no. So I was like, okay, if there is no more options, what should I do? And even like people were kind of, how can I say it? Europeans, they need proof. Like they need you to fly before they're like, oh, we can fund your flights. And they don't believe they won. They have really struggled with that. And that's something everyone knows. So I think that's my problem. It's like, I was pitching them Google X. I was like, yeah, Europe needs like this kind of crazy lab where people can just go there and dream and create like something crazy. If we just give them resources, we can end up with the craziest bets ever. And it was like, yeah, no, thank you. And that's what happened. It's like, it was just too much, I think, for Europe, which is cool. If they want to keep doing insurance companies and risk management companies, I think it's good. It's not something I'm against. I just think like my belief, and that's what I hate about this story, is like this European talents are amazing. Engineers are amazing in Europe. They are perfectionists. They know exactly what to go for. They work a lot and in smart way. I just think from a cultural perspective, they just need to be like Americans and to just do things, like stop overthinking, stop being scared, stop optimizing for the flights before each fly. Just fly it. And if it fails, you start again and it's okay. It's okay. Part of this, like, we will go to Mars because there is this guy called Elon. He has been trying for years and he will keep trying. It's not, okay, it should be perfect before we fly. No, just try. If it works, good. If it doesn't work, we keep trying. We keep trying. Failure is part of the process, and Europeans and failure is like, it's complicated. So yeah, that's what I hated a little bit. Because I still think even today, like after 1 year, I still think there is a big need for such a space in Europe. So if someone wants to do it, I would love to help. I just think if someone wants to do it, he should disconnect from the whole environment, which is annoying. Because like, I think what Europe needs, and that's what the guys from F8, they're doing, it feels they're in Finland. And I think what is cool about them is like even though they are still connected a little bit to Slash and everything, I think what they should do is like, they should be this kind of bunker where no one has access to that. I think someone should build some bunker in Switzerland. They have lots of bunkers because of the World War II. So I think they should use one of those and turn it into like some founders thing. And if you get a DM of some European investor, just don't reply. And that's my problem. I replied to those people and I was like, we should talk with you and everything. I have nothing against them. I think they're cool. I just think they will kill your ambition. And that's a bad thing.
Hubert?
I think when I arrived here, it was when it was over. So, Uber is different. He's different. Yeah, he's been here for a long time. So like, what does this mean to go from something that feels, something that feels special, like something that really works. And I think it's different. And I think that's where it's interesting.
Yeah. So coming to hot takes, right, in media, right? So what is the hottest take in media that you haven't still put on your website even?
That's a very good question. Hot take.
Oh, let me put it in a more narrowed.
Wait. I mean, it's not that hot because people know it.
Yeah.
I just think if you're in tech space, I think being a hot woman will help a lot. That's something I'm sure. 100%. 100%.
Right.
And I think Corgi, they know this so well.
Right.
Congrats for them because they are cooking with that strategy. I think it helps a lot.
Right.
I think, the space needs more women. So of course it will like show up even easier and you will get more hype. I think like for media companies, being like a woman really helps a lot. Like nothing against like not being sexist or whatever. I just think like it's an opportunity. So if you're a woman
literally
and you want to succeed, there is really like space in tech for more women to talk about tech, which is good. I think it's like those are markets. Some markets like needs some markets like needs, I don't know, like each market needs something specific. Some markets, they just want people to be like, I don't know, if you go to finance and banking, they want you like to be conformist and like to be inside that matrix. And for tech, they want you like to be different and like an anomaly and completely like an outsider. So I think each space needs someone. And I think in the tech space, tech media space, I think again, being a woman would help a lot.
Right.
A lot.
Right. Love that. So what's the most overrated tech podcast right now? You don't have to name it if you don't want, right? But if you want, you can.
Good question. You want me to go into some troubles.
You can skip it if you want.
No, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. Good question. What did I say? I was like, yeah, that's maybe too much. Overrated. Okay, it's not a podcast, but it's not that. I think it's like it's close. I think that's Mafia game. They dropped it from Founders Fund. That was like really overrated. Like the comments I've seen from some VCs, like I don't know how you can write that shit on X. Like, people were like, yo, this is like the most crazy format I've seen in my life. Bro, open YouTube and just watch content creators have been making for years. And I love Mafia as a game. I used to watch Mafia from Beta Squad. I'm still watching those. Those are fun because those content creators, they know how to be entertaining. In Mafia games with Beta Squad, you can see Chunks, for example, and we start singing. Did we see Dylan Field singing? No, because Dylan Field is the founder. He's not funny. That's how it works. And nothing against Dylan. I love Dylan. He's really cool. But I just think, how can I say it? The problem is, it's not, how can I say it? It's not funny enough, and the hype that's 3 episodes had was too much. I know, because like part of it is because of the celebrities they had. Congrats for them. I think also part of it was because we saw them differently. The production was very high quality. But I think if you remove the quality of the cameras, the quality of the guests, if you just, replace like the production with like, just, footage from phones, for example. Add to that, you remove some Altman, Dina and everything. You just put random people. Would you watch that? I'm not sure. I think no one would care. That's one. Because at the end, the characters weren't funny enough and zany enough. And I think that's, for me, that was like, one of the most overrated, media production, I think, in the last weeks. I hated that. The hype was like too much for it.
Right. So one thing that we might share, Adil, right? So Adil is like, you're constantly checking, right, what is actually working, right? And you're trying different, like, formats and then seeing like, what works, killing what doesn't, right? So now one thing that we are building at Marketrix is like, we simulate real users, right? To find out, right, that gap before you actually ship a product out, right? So do you ever wish, right, you could test one of the formats, right, before you spend 3 weeks actually making it?
Good question. I don't know. I mean, I would tell you my problem with that is like, even if you give me an answer, thanks to your tool, I would be like, I need to follow my gut feeling. And only my gut feeling will show me if it's right or wrong. That said, I still think it's useful for so many like specific industries. And I think simulation helps a lot. Like, that's something I've tried a little bit of time. Like, okay, what will happen if this and this and this? As I told you, like, there's some patterns, there's some templates. So you can identify those patterns and see what works, what doesn't. Science. I just think that, in my case, I just believe in experiences. Like, I will keep doing it until it doesn't work. And I had this debate with Gabriel, I was working with for a long time. We're like, we should do this, we should do that. And then the only way to settle the debates is by trying. And trying like in real time with real people and see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. And so if there's someone out there, Adil, right now, right, that who wants to build a media company, right? And then, I mean, maybe a niche media business, right? But like, think that that's actually crowded, right? Because if you've come into tech media, right? Which is, again, like, it's a crowded space, right? And then it's one of the most covered spaces on earth as well, right? And you just said that it's just boring, right? What would you tell them?
Good question. I think lower the productions at the beginning. People like, they think that they need high quality mics and everything to make it work in the beginning. I think you need a good sound. You need like the minimum that is required for people to watch something. And I would say maybe the most important thing for me is like respect people's attention. That's all. People don't do that usually. And people don't have time. No one has time anymore. And people they have lots of options, like limited options on YouTube, on X, on everything. So try to find the space where you feel like, okay, if someone would make this, you watch it yourself. And I still think there's lots of space, like lots of space for people to make great stuff in tech, or in general, like even media in general. And I've seen it even like, I watch lots of soccer media, and still every month somebody new show up and he comes up with this new concept or like something different or something like unique, or like even the same concept, like just with their own style and their own way, and it works. So I just think the space will always be there. And also maybe the only thing I would say, just be consistent. I think it's, I just said like I know it's complicated because so many people start podcasts, they don't finish. Some people like they start making videos, they don't finish. So just keep doing those. And the more you do them, the more it helps. And
Consistency matters.
yeah. And the improvements, not just dropping the same episodes like 100 times. I think you need like every time to see, okay, how I can make it better and better and better.
Right.
And it works.
Right. So we are almost back at Founders Inc. again, Adil, right? So where do people find you and Silicon Mania?
Good question. X, I think it's where I spend most of my time. LinkedIn too, if they want. Yeah, I think X is the best place right now. So yeah.
Right. And this has been super fun, Adil. Thanks
Thank
a lot.
Appreciate
Really enjoyed it.
Yes.
All right.
See you.